Good afternoon. My name is Emily Lusnia. I'm a physical therapist and I'm also a registered yoga teacher. And I'm going to be walking you through some desk chair yoga today to help you get out of your routine of sitting at your desk at home and help break up your day and hopefully make you more productive. So my assistant here is Jenny. She's also a registered yoga teacher and she's going to be walking you through the poses today. I hope you enjoy. So we're first going to start with just taking a few breaths to clear your mind. So just close your eyes and just get your mind off of your work for just a few moments. So you'll just take a nice inhale through your nose and an exhale out of your nose, allowing the breath to help you clear your mind and focus on your body and your mind for just a few minutes out of your day. We're gonna start our class with a couple neck stretches in order to release some tension from your neck from all your computer work and your typing. So you'll take your right ear to your right shoulder, being cautious not to let your shoulders come up to your ears. You have a couple options here to increase the stretch. So if you're going to the right, you can take your right hand and grab the side of your chair to make a little bit extra stretch, or you could also grab your right hand and rest it on the side of your head. Taking a few breaths here just to feel a nice stretch on the right side of your neck and shoulder. Then you'll release that, bring your head back to center. You'll take an inhale right here in center, and as you exhale, you'll take your ear over to your left shoulder. You have those same options where you can take your left hand and grab the chair, or you can take your left hand over to the side of the head and gently just relax the hand on the head. Again, taking a few breaths here just to release the tension from the neck. Then you'll come back to center. We're gonna drop your nose over towards your armpit. So just gently coming on an angle. And then here you have an option to increase the stretch. So the side that you're bending towards will be the hand that you take and just grab the back of the head and gently rest the hand on the head. That'll give you just a little bit of an increase in the stretch, but these are all optional. Taking a few breaths here. And then you'll come back to center and we'll repeat on the other side. So you'll take your nose, drop it to the opposite shoulder, and then that hand that you're bending towards, you'll take it and rest it on the side, on the back of your head as well. Allowing those breaths to help release the tension in the shoulders and the neck. You'll come back to center. We're gonna work out those shoulders a little bit. So you'll take an inhale, you're gonna reach up and overhead. Get a nice big stretch there, reaching up. And as you exhale, you can just bring the hands back down through center. Let's do 3 breaths there together. So take an inhale, reach up and overhead. Hands together and bring them down through heart center. And one more. Take an inhale, reach up and overhead. And then bring the hands down through heart center. This will help you center yourself as well. We're gonna work into our spine a little bit, opening up the chest and the back. So these are our seated cat and cows. So the way you'll start these is you'll take an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead to start. As you exhale, you're gonna bring the hands forward and round out the upper back and drop the head. When you inhale, you're gonna open up the arms, opening up the chest, reaching up. So working on your posture here. On your next exhale, you're gonna bring the hands forward again, rounding the back and alternating there. So opening up for your cow and exhaling for your cat. We'll do one more there together. When that set is complete, you'll find a nice tall spine. We're gonna take a seated side bend here. We're going to show you 2 options for your arms. So the first one, as you inhale, you'll take both arms up and overhead. As you exhale, let's side bend over to the right side. So you're going to side bend over to the right, creating a C shape with your spine, opening up the side body. You'll take an inhale to center and you'll exhale over to the opposite side. Now, if that's not comfortable for you, you'll take an inhale back to center. Just drop one hand. So we'll do one arm at a time. So you'll take an inhale in center, exhale side bending, and then inhale to center and exhaling, switching out the arms. Then we're going to come into our rotations, continuing to open up our spine. You'll take an inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, you're going to turn to the right side. So if you're turning to the right, you're going to take your left hand over to your right knee, and you're just going to create a nice gentle twist. With each inhale, you're going to lengthen the spine, sit up nice and tall. With each exhale, you'll deepen that twist. With each inhale, lengthening the spine. Each exhale, deepening that gentle twist here. Take an inhale as you come back to center, and let's take it over to the other side. So rotating to the left, you're going to take your right hand outside of your left knee. Inhale as you grow the spine tall. Exhale and twist over to the left. With each inhale, lengthening the spine, and each exhale, just deepening that twist a little bit more, but keeping it nice and comfortable here. After a few breaths in each of those, take an inhale to find center. On our next exhale, we're going to take a seated forward fold. So you're just going to melt into your chair. So you're going to melt all the way down as far as you can reach to the floor. You may need a book or something to prop your hands. If you're not as flexible, you can always just go halfway, or you can even rest your hands on your thighs, your knees, and just rest there. Allowing the head and the neck to just relax as much as you can. If you have a pillow close by, you could even put that on your knees to help your chest rest towards your thighs. Just take a few breaths here and let the stress just release. After a few breaths there, you'll take an inhale. Find that nice tall spine again. We're going to move into your hips. Your hips get nice and tight when you're sitting all day. We're going to start with a figure 4 stretch. So let's take our right ankle over to the left knee. You'll sit up nice and tall as you take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to hinge at the hips first, leaning forward, finding a good stretch. Now you want to be cautious here. Stretches should be comfortable, a comfortable discomfort, so no pain here. And then if you can go farther, you can always fold and relax the upper half of your body. But just keep that comfortable for you. With your stretches, taking a few breaths, you want to at least hold them for 30 seconds if you can. So once you've got your 30 seconds or a few breaths, we'll come back up and we're just going to change out to our other side. So take our left ankle over to the right knee. Inhale as you sit up nice and tall, and remember on that first exhale you're just going to hip hinge forward, and then if you're comfortable you can round out the upper spine. Again, here a pillow may be nice to just support your chest on your leg if that feels comfortable as well. Again, taking a few breaths, optimally 30 seconds here at least. After that has passed, you'll take an inhale, find center again. Find a nice tall spine. We're going to move into the hamstrings. So you're going to take your right leg, you're going to stick your leg out straight in front of you. Heel is going to touch the ground, toes are going to pull back towards your nose. We're going to take an inhale, find that nice tall spine, and as you exhale, you want to hinge forward at the hips again, rounding and lifting the shoulders, reaching down towards the toes. It's totally okay if you can't touch your toes here. When you have a sitting job, sometimes those hamstrings like to get nice and tight, but go where you can. We'll take an inhale, find that nice tall spine again, and we'll switch out to the other side. So taking the opposite leg, heel is on the ground, toes are pulled back. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, leaning forward, finding that very nice stretch in the back of the leg. Again, the stretches is supposed to be comfortable, not painful here. 30 seconds or a few breaths. You'll take an inhale, find that nice tall spine. We want to get you out of your chair, so we're going to have you move to a standing position. For our next stretch, we're going to move into the front of your hips or your hip flexors. So we're going to take a standing hip flexor or lunge stretch. So let's step your right foot forward. You're going to bend into that right knee, stepping that left leg back. And you want to try to keep your heel on the ground and your knees straight if you can. Hips are square. Be mindful here if you have a rolling chair that it's not going to roll away from you or it's pushed up against a stable surface. So here, you'll just take a few breaths here. You should feel a stretch in the left front side of the hip, maybe even in the quad muscle, so the front thigh there as well. Again, just taking a few breaths or about 30 seconds, and then we'll switch to the other side. So taking a step up and then stepping your opposite foot back. And you can see here, the heel is towards the ground, the knee is straight, the hips are square towards the back of the chair, feeling a stretch in that extended leg, your right leg here. Keeping the spine nice and tall, and make sure you keep those shoulders nice and relaxed here. After a few breaths or about 30 seconds, you'll take an inhale, step both feet up. We're going to take a chair downward dog here. So this is where you want to be mindful of your chair safety. You're going to step the hips back, allow the back to come flat and the arms to rest on the back side of the chair. You want to just let your chest sink as low as you can without causing any pain in the shoulders. If you need to bend your knees here because you've got some tight hamstrings or a cranky back, that's okay too. Just find what's comfortable for you. Holding here and just allowing that chest to sink and the chest to open. Working on your posture here. And we'll take an inhale to find a tall spine, stepping back to the front of the chair. You could do a couple of those if that feels good to you, but for today, we'll just show you one. We're gonna move into our warrior two. So inviting a little bit of focus into your practice and strength. We're gonna step your right foot back, your left foot is forward. With your back leg, you want that back foot at about a 90-degree angle. Those hips are gonna open to the side of the room. As you can see, Jenny's gonna face you. And then you can use that chair for balance with your left hand on the chair. Your right hand extends straight back from the shoulders, and your gaze is over the front arm, middle finger. It just depends on the height of your chair. Just allow your neck to stay in a nice neutral spine. And allow those shoulders to stay relaxed and not creep up towards your ears. This pose invites strength and focus into the body and mind. After a few breaths here, we're gonna switch that out. So you'll take a big step back up to the front, and you'll step your opposite leg back, bend into that front knee. That back foot is parallel to the floor. Your hips are open to the side of the desk from this angle. That front knee is bent about 90 degrees. That back arm is straight out from the shoulder. The front arm is straight out from the front shoulder, and the gaze is towards the front of the room or your chair. Taking a few breaths here. Find that focus, clear your mind, and find your inner warrior strength. After a few breaths here, you'll take a big step back up to the back of the chair. We're going to come into a reverse warrior. So here, you may not necessarily need the chair, but you could leave both hands on the chair, or you can take your left hand that's forward. You're going to lift it straight up to the ceiling. So inviting some opening in the front side of the body, leaning back, noticing that that back foot is still in that 90-degree angle. Your hips are open towards the side, and you've got that 90-degree bend in that front knee. Now, if that's uncomfortable for your shoulder or arm, you could always leave that hand down or tuck it behind your back or place it on the chair. So either or is fine. We're going to switch that out, stepping to the other side. Back foot 90 degrees, front knee is at a 90-degree bend. option here to lift that front arm up and over behind the back, or placing it on the chair in front of you for a little bit of balance. If that's uncomfortable for your neck, you can also just look straight ahead or down, just finding what feels good to you. So this is your reverse warrior. From here, we're going to stretch out those hamstrings a little more, coming into a pyramid pose. Again, checking your chair for safety. So we'll step your right foot back. Your feet are going to be in line with one another here, and then your both knees are going to be straight. You're going to hinge at the hips as you bend forward, so you may have to adjust your position there, finding a nice stretch in the back of the hamstrings. You want the hips to be square to the floor and your back to be nice and flat here. So this is a big stretch. You can always alter your stance if you need to, either shortening it or widening it for whatever feels good for your body. For here, you can hold for a couple breaths or about 30 seconds, and then we'll switch this out as well, stepping the opposite foot forward and back, hinging at the hips as you slowly find your way down for that big hamstring stretch in both of these legs here, focusing on the knees to be straight and the spine to be nice and flat here as well, using the back of your chair for balance. Once you've been here for about 30 seconds or a few breaths, you'll stand up nice and tall. Find that nice tall spine. Really root your feet into the ground. We're going to take one little back bend here. So you'll take an inhale, lift the arms up and overhead, and just gently lean backwards to open up the front side of the body, opening up the arms and the chest. Take an inhale, find a straight spine. And we'll take 2 more of those. Let the arms come down to the side, and we'll do 2 more. So take an inhale as you reach up and overhead, and then as you exhale, you just gently bend backwards, finding that comfortable spot for you. Taking an inhale to center, and then last one, inhaling, reaching up and overhead, exhaling, finding that back bend, and then standing up to center. And then you'll find your place right back in your chair. So coming back to that seated position before you get ready to return to your work, you'll just take a few minutes again to find that focus, clear your mind, close your eyes, taking a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, getting ready to return to your work day. Hope this section has made you feel a little more relaxed and ready to rejoin the workforce.